Good evening. Good evening. I wanted to talk to y'all real quick. I've been on live once today, so I wanted to jump on for just a few more minutes today. And on my way home, I had a wonderful celebration with one of my classmates from high school, celebrating her 60th birthday. So we had such a great time with my sisters and a couple of our brothers and just enjoyed the day or the evening. Well, the day into the evening. But anyway, on my way home, I started thinking about how we can get the word out and impress upon people how important it is to end paycheck dependency. And I want to tell you, I am not talking about at all quitting anybody's job. All of us, jobs make the world go round. They literally make the world go round. So I am not talking about quitting your jobs, not stressing the importance of a job. I adore my job. I tell people that all the time. I tell you that all the time. Anybody who watches my content know that I truly adore my job. So when I mention ending paycheck dependency, I solely mean being in a position so that if something happens to your job, you don't fall apart. Your whole financial world does not implode. You are not left in a space where you're stressed out, you can't handle it, you're losing things that you've worked a lifetime to build. Ending paycheck dependency means that you have created a safety net. You have created another stream or multiple streams of income so that in the event something does happen, something that is solely out of your control. And when you work for someone else, your job status, your job security is at the mercy of that individual or those individual, a board of individuals. It doesn't even matter who you answer to or what that job structure is if you're not working for yourself. And even if you're working for yourself in some aspects, you still have a board to answer to, you still have stockholders to answer to. And if you're not performing at a high capacity, or in a capacity that is generating proceeds or benefits for that organization, people have a problem with you. And your job, your livelihood is in jeopardy. So I don't care how much you currently make. It is not greed to want to be in a better financial position unless your level of greed is detrimental to others. Your level of greed, if it's detrimental to others, there's a major problem with that. The love of money is not the root of wait a minute. Money is not the root of all evil. It is the love of money that is the root of all evil. So when you're putting money above any and everything else, any and every one else, you got some problems. Yes, I said it, and yes, I meant it. I will not take it back. But if you have a desire just to put yourself and your family, your loved ones in a better position financially, because any and everyone knows that financially you need to be in a comfortable, well developed place in order for you to excel, in order for you not to lose what you've worked a lifetime for, in order for you to live a particular way, in order for you to have a particular level of joy. It's going to take some finances. I don't care how much you've decided that I'm not going to live frivolously, I'm not going to live according to what I'm able to generate financially. That's all well and good. If you want to live off the land, I support you for that, but you still need some kind of money generating so that you can nourish and nurture that land. But I digress. I'm going to stay as much as I can on the path that I'm on. In generating income you control, that helps to end paycheck dependency. And I don't care how you choose to generate additional income, the important aspect is you generate additional income, multiple streams, just initially one more stream, whatever it is, you're able to immediately get into, to immediately get that benefit of generating income that you actually control. Last week, I shared information about things that people don't even think about that are passive income generators, at like cashback. I said that my Christmas last year, and I'm thinking the Christmas before. So for the past 2 years, I'm believing my entire debt, not debt, my entire expenses for Christmas, they were covered completely with cash back. Every bill that I have, every piece of debt that I have that I can put on a credit card, I do put on a credit card. The only item I have that I cannot put on a credit card is my mortgage. That is the only expense I cannot put on a credit card. So the credit cards that I use, I have a really good, consistent cash back offer. And whenever they change and they start offering more, like they may offer more this month for groceries, they may offer more this month for gas, they may offer more this month for eating out at a restaurant. So whenever my cards offer more than their initial cash back, when they have those special cash back offers, I then put all of those expenses on that particular card every month. I'm getting emails from my credit card companies, and they are telling me what offers are coming up. So I literally put on my calendar here on my phone, I will put at, like, going into the last week of the month, what's coming up. When I get that email from my credit card company, I'm going to put those notes on my calendar, and I will put an alert to make sure I switch out the credit cards in my wallet, and I'm using this one more often. Why? Because it has a particular offer, especially gas. So many of them, they will give you really good percentages back on gas purchases. So my gas purchases, depending on which card has the best offer for that month, that's the card I'm putting my gas purchases on. And y'all may think, oh, that's silly. It can't be that much money. When you don't touch the money that you generate with cashback offers, when you do not touch it, when you don't touch it to pay a bill, that's on your credit card, do not touch it. From December through November of the next year, I don't touch my cashback offers. I cash in nothing, which is why I'm able to pay for every gift I get at Christmas time with only, I will charge whatever the gifts are. And when I get ready to pay that, if it's the next day, the next week, or whenever I get all that shopping done, I will cash in whatever my cashback offer is, and then it starts generating again. But whatever I've purchased after I've paid off that debt, if I buy all of my gifts the first month of December, and then I've used up that cashback that's already saved, then it starts to generate again. So maybe the second week of December through the end of the next November is when I keep all of that cash and I just cash it in when I'm ready to buy my gifts. I don't use that for birthday gifts or any other type of spending throughout the year. I let that cash back stack up. Don't sleep on those offers. When you just let it be where it is, you don't touch it and you allow it to build, you would be amazed at how much over a period of time you have actually generated. Then you don't have to worry about, oh my goodness, I've got to buy all of these presents for my children or my family members or for whomever. I've got to buy all of these gifts. Now I'm going to be March, April, May, still paying off the debt I incurred in December. If you work it right, you will not fall into that trap. Now, that was one type of passive income. I mentioned high yield savings accounts. Once you deposit whatever you deposit in your savings, leave it alone. You can have a regular savings account that you reach into whenever you need to reach into, but then have one that you do not touch. Allow it to grow and grow and grow and grow. And whatever you get back off of that interest, don't pull that out. Allow it to grow, because whatever, if you've made $50 off of, we'll just say you got 10 grand in savings. And if you made $50 off of that month, so now you have $10,050. Then the next month that's generated, it's going to generate your interest off of that $10,050 and just keep growing. So whatever your balance is, when it's time for that interest rate to, or that interest to generate, that's what you're getting your next interest payment on. Just let it sit there. Don't touch it. Do not touch it unless it is a dire emergency. And then try to build it back up. And I don't care how long it takes you to build it back up, but whatever you had to spend, just start making those deposits again. And you will again build your savings up to a nice cushion for yourself. I talked about digital products. Those are the products that you create one time and you just let them go. Once you create a digital product, you make promotions, you advertise, you create content to promote your digital products. And once you create that content, do not only be a content consumer, become a content creator so you can start promoting your digital products. People don't know what it is you have to sell until you start promoting the things you have for sale. I used this morning when I was live, I talked about Kroger. We know what Kroger has on sale each week because we get, or I get, an email from them. That is digital marketing. I don't have to go buy a newspaper, get to the store, or go in the store while I'm shopping one week and pick up the circular that's going to be applicable for the next week. I don't have to waste any gas. They don't have to print any papers. All I do is get their email and I go through their circular that comes through the email to see what's going to be on sale. So I know if I'm getting ready to shop at Kroger, if I'm going to shop at Publix, if I'm going to shop at Walmart, wherever it is I'm going to go, I'm going to see what they've got on sale. And from all of those establishments, they have my email and I get that information. I get those notifications weekly. If they have special promotions throughout the week, I get that weekly. That's digital marketing. So if you have digital products that you created, you select a store to advertise, to house it so you can generate your money from that source. Then you create content to promote it. You create your commercials. You create a 5-10 minute, no, 5-10 second video, because it can literally be just an image of whatever that product is, and you can have text over that image with a trending song promote that product. You don't even have to get on the camera. You can have anything. Like I said, it can be the image of that product with the text describing that product, telling people where to go. And in your description, you're going to have a link directly going to that product so they can purchase it, they can check out, purchase it, then get that ability to download that product or print it, whatever the options are, in order to get that product to your customer. And your customer base is worldwide. I've already gone over the cashback options. I've gone over the high yield savings accounts. Now we're going to get to Rocket Money. I mentioned last week, I believe, that I have the app Rocket Money. Rocket Money, because it's connected to all of my bills and my payments, it was able to notify me when one of my payments increased. I had a contract, I guess, for a particular amount for however many years it was. I can't even remember because I don't keep up with it. But Rocket Money knew the amount I had going in at that time, or I had going out at that time to pay that bill. When that bill increased, Rocket Money alerted me. And now I can't remember. I need to pay attention to my notes. But I think my bill may have increased 60 something dollars. I literally cannot remember. I know it went up to like 253 or 239 or something like that. Anyway, for the next month, it was getting ready to increase. Rocket Money alerted me and it indicated, well, your bill went up this amount for this month. And they were able to get that amount that month because I wasn't paying attention to it. But when I got my alert from Rocket Money, I called the provider. The provider is Xfinity. I called the provider. They said my promotion had ended. That's why my bill increased. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not paying that. So, because I was alerted by an app, by Rocket Money, I called them, told them I was not paying that amount, that I was just going to drop the service. Not only did they provide me with better service, they also dropped my bill, I think 60, $80. Y'all, I'm so sorry. I cannot remember. They dropped the bill. I got better service. I got a better internet. Everything, all of my options increased. My bill dropped maybe $80. I can't remember. But point is, my bill dropped. It was caught by Rocket Money. I was not paying attention. And because all of my bills come out, all of my bills go to my credit card, I wouldn't have necessarily paid attention until I just went back to go line by line to see what my charges were. And quite honestly, I do that every month. But depending on how cautious I'm being, I primarily look at it and I'm like, yeah, that's a legitimate charge. That's a legitimate charge. That's a legitimate charge. I don't know that I would have even paid attention to what that bill was when I saw that I had Xfinity still on there, and would have just gone past it. Perhaps it just depends on how much time I had when I was going through my bills and how meticulously I was looking at each line item. But because I have this app, and the purpose of just downloading that app and implementing that app was so I could manage my subscriptions. I'm like, if I have subscriptions that I'm no longer using, catch them so I can cancel them. And fortunately I didn't. I'm real careful about just doing the promotions and then canceling before the promotions end, because I'll get an alert, I'll get an email saying your promotional period ends at this time. Do you want to keep going? And I will go ahead and cancel it. But I wanted to make sure nothing had, you know, slid through the cracks. That is why I got Rocket Money. But the amount that I pay them each month to have this service has already paid for itself. It far exceeded paying for itself, because that's just another way to be cautious and careful and manage my money even better. This last one, to track your spending. If you have a budget template, if you have something, if you just have a sheet of paper where you track your spending, like I said, subscriptions. I can't remember the article, it came out years ago, but it was talking about how much people waste with subscriptions that they forget they've had, they don't even pay attention to, they certainly don't use that service, but people have completely forgotten about some of these subscriptions they've signed up for. You would be amazed if you take the time to literally track your spending, see what's coming in and see what's going out. Budget, and track. See exactly what you're spending each month. You would be amazed at how much money you're actually throwing away. So get in the habit of tracking your spending. That within itself could pay an extra bill, or it can fill up your car, or it can pay for a meal for your family. Just be cautious and be careful. Right now, times are crazy hard. Inflation is crazy through the roof. People cannot afford the basic standard of living. I was there for the majority of my adult life, not being able to afford the basic standard of living. And that is so not a good feeling. I had to get out of my head that I failed, because I didn't fail. I was, dealing with the hand I was dealt, and working gainfully employed is just that what I was being paid for my level of skills at that time just couldn't keep up with the changing economy. But tracking your spending, generating passive income through digital products, cashback options, high yield savings accounts, apps that help you track your spending, and tracking your spending yourself can be so beneficial, and it can help you end that paycheck dependency. And going back to the purpose of my coming live again today is to talk to you about paycheck dependency. And again, that is in no way saying quit your job, that you should be your own boss. No, that is not what I'm saying at all. What I am completely saying, unadulterated, what I am saying is start generating additional income, multiple income streams, so that you can start building a safety net, so that you can build a nest egg. Anytime, at any given moment, we can have an emergency come up. We can have an unexpected expense come up. And so we don't fall into the trap of completely stressing out mentally, physically, emotionally, certainly financially, losing control because we have been hit with something that we did not expect. We have been hit with something that we didn't see coming in anyway. If you have a safety net built, that landing is so much softer when you have something to catch you, and not solely relying on your one income stream, not solely relying on the paycheck you get from your job, is at this point in time something that is so vitally important. We cannot rely on our income that is sourced through our job. We cannot rely on that anymore. And to build our entire house and our household on that one stream of income. I have told y'all, I've shared before that I have had 9 jobs in my life. In my 40-year career, I have had 9 jobs. 6 of those jobs I quit. looking for something else. I had to leave because of certain conditions. That very first one, that was in 1994. Started working there in 1987. That was my first big girl job. Working in Atlanta, just happy and excited and feeling like I was going to the next level. That job, that job was 33 miles. No, I'm sorry. To be technically accurate, 31.6 miles from my house. 31.6 miles from my house. My first job, my first big girl job. It was in Atlanta. And in order for me to get there, I would leave an hour and a half to 2 hours before I was supposed to be there. So I would leave at the latest, at the very latest by 6:30. 6:25, I was pretty much in the car. If I was running late or whatever, I would literally do my hair. I would get up and shower, put on my clothes, do my hair, and do my makeup in the car. There were so many days when I had to do that. I watched the news every morning. I stayed on top of, well, that was when I woke up. Stayed on top of, if there was an accident, if it was bad weather. I knew I needed to leave before 6:30, before 6:25. So I would leave at 6 o'clock. Now I never, ever, ever in life left before 6 o'clock. But there were days driving 32 minutes from my house. It- just driving, getting there. You can get there, I think, no, 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 32 miles from my house. I think if you go and there's no traffic, 36 minutes, you can get there. In less than 40 minutes, certainly, you can get to our old office or my old office. I will leave an hour and a half to 2 hours early. We had a policy in 3 months' time. If you were tardy 7 times, that was your job. It doesn't matter why you were tardy. So if you were tardy, you better go ahead and take a sick day or whatever. But on that job, you had 7 times in 3 months in a 90-day period. 90 days, not 90 calendar days. That was 90 work days. You had 7 times to be tardy. And if you got the time at number 8, you were automatically fired. There was no explanation. I mean, we signed that was a policy. We knew that was the policy. And for some days in a 90-day period, I had already hit 6 days that I was tardy. On that seventh day, I was sweating bullets. There was so much traffic. There was nothing I was going to do to get to work sooner. There were so many accidents that day. I could not get off the interstate to get on the highway to still try to get there. The traffic was just horrendous. Um, so when I got to work, I literally pulled in the parking deck. I sat in my car. I prayed. And when I pulled in the parking deck, it was 8:03. Y'all, I remember this like it was last night. When I pulled in the parking deck, it was 8:03. 8:03. And I sat there. I prayed. In my mind, I'm like, what is this getting ready to look like? I've never been fired in my life. What is this getting ready to look like? What is this getting ready to feel like? That was what happened that day was not my intention. I went in, and instead of clocking, I did not clock in. I went straight to my desk. I did not clock in that morning. I got off the elevator, went to the left, went right back to my office, and I typed up a resignation letter. That is exactly what I did on that day. I did not, I no, I'm sitting in the car. I'm trying to go over this and figure out exactly what I'm going to do. So my decision was I will not be fired. I have never been fired in my life. It ain't about to be today. So I literally did not clock in, got off the elevator, turned left, went to my office, sat at my desk, and typed up my resignation letter. Gave Melanie a kiss and a hug, and I said, "Today is my last day." Then I went back through the hallway over to the other side, through those beautiful double doors, past the reception area. and said I needed to go see Betty, I think was her name, in HR. I went back there and I handed her my resignation letter. And she was like, "Why?" And I said, I need to retire. I mean resign. I just need to resign. So I did. Now, did they know I was late that day? If if they are still on the face of this earth, God rest them if they're not, and they happen to see this video, they will know. And those who were close to me, of course, they knew because I told them. But yeah, because and I did. Telephoned my people, and I'm like, I'll see y'all. I love y'all. Yeah, this is what happened. Yeah." So that was how my last day at that place went. Did not tell my boss. I literally walked past his office and handed in my resignation because I was not going to be fired. But again, that was something. Now, that policy, I knew that policy, but what was 100% out of my control was the traffic I was going to run into on a daily basis. And I'm sorry, y'all, but I was not going to leave more than 2 hours early to get to my job. That was 32 miles, less than 32 miles from my home. That wasn't going to happen. So as a 20, how old was I? 28 years old. As a 28-year-old, I that just wasn't resting well in my spirit. No, no. And I decided I was going to quit, and that is exactly what I did. I quit that job. So a job, and I loved. Oh my God, I felt like such a accomplished big girl working in that office, being a part of that company. But no, and I loved the people I worked with. Oh my word, I did. And yeah, that was something completely out of my control. I had no control over the traffic. Working for someone else who 100% controlled my income. They were the foundation of my financial stability. Someone else's decision, someone else who instituted that policy. I had no control over that. I didn't. What I did have control over was the decision I made, which was not to go in or leave my house more than 2 hours before I was supposed to clock in. Should I have had a better plan? Maybe, perhaps. I don't know. Very few days we did not run into traffic, which is why I had that big old gap. But at the same time, being at the mercy of someone else who solely controls my financial stability. Mm-mm. And I started my side hustling. I started my side hustling way back then on things that drained me. They made me more frustrated because they never gave me that peace, that security, that stability of generating additional income that really made a difference. Um, and that's again, that is what I wanted to talk to you about tonight. Being able to be in a position to generate additional income by any means necessary. There are multiple options. By any means necessary, making sure you're in a position where you don't fall into that trap of being suffocated if something were to happen to your main source of income. Start building additional income however you can, creating your own digital products from your skills, your experience, and your knowledge. Go ahead and create a digital product. All you have to do is be a little more experienced than someone else in a position looking for a solution. That's what your digital products are. You are creating products that are the solutions to someone issue or their problem or their circumstances. You are just a few steps ahead of where they are, even in getting in this business. If you've been in this business, in this digital marketing space for 2 weeks, your skills and your knowledge and your experience that you've acquired in just 2 weeks is more than the person who may view your content and say, "Oh my gosh, they've just reached me. That's what I need. I see myself in that position. I see the vision. I see where I can take this. I see what it can do for me and my family." And you're still brand spanking new yourself, but you knew just a little bit more than someone seeking a solution, and you've provided the answer to their problem, or the possible solution to whatever it is they're dealing with. So I encourage you to get into the space of generating additional income by any means necessary, as long as they're legal. By any means necessary. Just start thinking of how you can benefit someone else, how you can serve someone else. And a lot of my digital products I give away for free. The majority of my digital products have been taken that are free. I don't have a free product that has not been downloaded by someone. I don't have not one free product that has not been taken. Um, and I mentioned making 574 in a weekend, 48-hour period, generating $574 from products I'd already created. I uploaded them and I just did not touch them anymore. Those are digital products that are now reaching people worldwide. My consumer base is now worldwide because it's digital. I don't have any inventory. I don't have to stock anything. I price it one time and I just put it in Gumroad. And Gumroad gets a percentage of the sale, but I don't have to pay Gumroad to list it. And after you've made $10 on that platform, they start promoting your products for you. That's why I've not had to create any promotions for any of my digital products. I will one day when I get into a space to stop focusing on digital marketing and the digital growth community and selling my e-learning products or introducing people to my e-learning products so they can get their skill up to a level where their skill sets become high income earning skills, where they can take a skill set and train others on how to build communities, how to create a different customer base with their already established business, how they can train someone with an already established business and show them how to market in a way that they've never marketed before in order to reach a brand new clientele, customer base, whatever it is there or whomever they're trying to reach, they're able to do that through these digital marketing strategies. So, one last time, I encourage you to start figuring out how you can get into a space of generating additional income, income that you control, income that is not tied to a job or a boss, income that is solely generated by your own hands. Through these methods, or however you choose to. If you visit my website at makemoneyyoucontrol.com, you will see a list of 4 digital products, e-learning products that we sell from $100 to $900. Or you can get a bundle pack that gives you those products in both English and Spanish for $1,400. We walk into this business with 4 income streams. I think right now, if I total up all of my income streams or my potential income streams, there are 27. I think I'm going to write down all of my potential income streams tonight so I can be a little more accurate in what I'm delivering. But with just buying the bundle pack, we come in with 10 income streams because you can sell English version of our $100 program in English and in Spanish, our $300 program in English and in Spanish, our $600 program, English, Spanish, our $900 program, English, Spanish, our bundle pack, English, Spanish. So those are 10 income streams. And within our program, we give you 200 digital product ideas. We teach you how to do affiliate marketing, AI training, a Canva tutorial, our community. You'll learn your skills, how to hone your skills, how to tighten and sweeten those skills just a little bit more. Within our community, we have live interactive training within our community. We have content vaults in our community that contains how you can get into different strategies on different social media platforms so that you can use social media the right way. Like I said, stop being a content consumer and start being a content creator and generating income. Affiliate marketing. We teach so many ways to generate additional income within our programs things that I had not even heard of. First of all, I had not even heard of digital marketing until my cousin shared this program with me. And I'm so grateful that she did last September. But the most important part of this live is to encourage you to start generating income you control. However, you're able to do that, just get within yourself. Think about your experience, your skills, and your knowledge. What do you have? Have you done some things at work? Have you implemented some strategies at work with skills you're already using on your 9 to 5? Have you fine tuned some of the strategies or some of the exercises or some of the policies at your job? Have you fine tuned them to a point that people can follow those and they're more productive, or people can follow those and it's a lot clearer than it used to be? Have you gone with the times? Have you changed with the times? We're using AI a lot. Have you created policies that are AI applicable to make your job more efficient? If you have, you can create that. Although you're using it on your 9 to 5, that's something you created yourself. You can turn that into a digital product and start generating income. That's income you control. You created it. Why not allow it to generate income for you? So that is it for tonight. I thank you for joining me. I thank you for anybody who sees this at a later date. I thank you for tuning in and for watching. I am here to serve you. If I can be of any help to any of you, please let me know. Visit my website, makemoneyyoucontrol.com. Drop your email if you need to start communicating with me. You can also leave me messages on any of my content. I see them all. I will respond to you. Or if you want to go to my website, drop your email. You can start communicating with me immediately. You get my email address. You can start communicating with me immediately. Ask me whatever you want to ask me about digital marketing, creating digital products, how I manage to do all of this, how I get my Christmas paid for with cashback offers. Whatever it is I can do to serve you, I am here to serve. I wish you all well. Go with God. Let Him lead you, teach you, guide you, and keep you. Let Him do what He is here to do for you. In Jesus' name, y'all be blessed. I thank you again for joining me. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day.